Good morning, and thank you for joining us today for today's webinar on the Primary School Gardening Success Plan and Q&A. We're very lucky today to be joined by our Education Officer for Go Landscape, Stephen Ensell, and Lee Connelly, also known as the Skinny Jean Gardener. You may have also seen him on TV. I'm going to hand over to the gents now to chat everything through for you. If you are watching this live and would like to submit some questions, please still do engage and type them into the questions panel on your right. If you're watching this on record and would like to submit any questions or speak to the guys afterwards, again, you're still welcome to do so. You can contact Stephen on stephen.ensell, E-N-S-E-L-L, @barley.org.uk. Over to you guys.
Thank you, Laura. Brilliant. Okay, well, it's great to have you here with us, Lee. I appreciate you taking some time out of a busy day. We've got a wonderful opportunity to be able to try and promote what we've been working on together and what we launched a little while ago in terms of the activities that we're up to in the primary schools. But before we delve into that, let's find out a little bit more about each other so we can tell the people watching who we are and what our background is. So, Lee, who are you?
My name's Lee Connelly. I feel like I'm on a dating app. My name's Lee Connelly, and I'm also known as the Skinny Jean Gardener. You may have seen me on the telly. I was a Blue Peter Gardener a while back. Most recently, I've been doing bits with the BBC for BBCTeach. You may even remember me from the Gadget Show 2018, the best episode they've ever had. But the main thing that I do is get children gardening. Basically, that's the biggest thing that I've done. I've been doing it for almost 10 years now, and with my books and my podcast that I do, yeah, it's all about promoting gardening to teachers and parents and showing them an easy route into gardening and not overcomplicating it. I think that's the biggest thing, which when I first started gardening, I felt was quite a difficult thing to start off with, trying to get information with these long Latin words, which obviously I realise are important, but can be quite complicating to the beginner. And yeah, I just try and make it easy with gardener makes and ideas that parents and teachers can do with children. So yeah, so that's a bit about me.
Fantastic. And I guess let's hear a little bit about how you kind of first joined the industry. I mean, we've had a little bit of a history about you know what you've been up to over the last few years. So how did it kind of come onto your radar? Where did you hear about horticulture and gardening and things?
To be honest with you, I actually didn't know that there was an industry, and this is ridiculous, but I didn't know there was an industry around gardening until I was about 24, 25. And what happened was I never did any gardening at school. So that's obviously where a lot of my passion to get children gardening comes from, because when I was at school, all we had was a pond. The pond is still there at the same school in Colchester. But luckily they do a lot more around that area now, but just a little dirty pond which used to go pond dipping once a year in, and that was about as much gardening or getting out into the garden that we used to do at school. And so it wasn't until I got to 24, 25 when me and my brother missed each other, because I moved out of our family home to move in with my wife, and we missed each other. So we decided to do a subject that neither of us had any clue on. So we at first we tried to start a crazy golf team and get sponsored by Red Bull. Crazily, they turned us down. We tried to be in a band. Neither of us can play instruments, although I'm trying to learn the guitar now, Stephen. And so the band might come back together. And then there was an allotment that my brother got his hands on. And it was just us going down together and enjoying time and learning as we went along, that I was like, this is what I've been missing out on. And at the time, I was 24, 25, and embarrassingly, I honestly had no idea how anything was grown. Like potatoes, I honestly thought grew on like little trees. I thought cauliflowers may have grown underground. I had no idea. And I was a 24, 25. Now, the stereotypical Essex guy, I could use that as a I could blame it on that, but it wasn't that. It was just because I was never taught it at a younger age. And obviously then when you leave secondary school, you start you know, going out with friends and dancing in Yates's until 2 in the morning, and gardening on a Sunday morning after that, having a hangover, is the last thing you're thinking of at a younger age. So, like I say, it wasn't until I got to 24, 25 that I really got gardening.
Brilliant. And I think that's an interesting one. I think you'll probably find it's a theme with an awful lot of people that are in the industry, that it was never put on their radar at school. I mean, exactly the same. I had a similar experience in that, you know, I went to speak to my careers advisor to talk about what options might be available. I did one of those little kind of tick box questionnaires that you kind of go through, and got to the bottom, and they said you would be best suited to join the fire service. And I said, but I'm quite claustrophobic. I don't know whether that would work for me, kind of thing. And it's that worry that we're not on anybody's radar in terms of an industry and a possibility of a career. You know, so 100% we agree with that, and that's part and parcel to what Go Landscape is trying to achieve in terms of raising awareness with schools. So it's really exciting to join with you, Lee, and also then to tap into a market that we may not have quite tapped into yet. That primary schools audience is quite a unique audience. They're very switched on and more likely to engage in terms of the activities that you've kind of put together in the package that you're offering, and also, you know, what we're trying as well is testing the water to see if we can start to make them a little bit more aware about careers in the industry. So that's great. So let's delve into what the project's all about, the school success plan. Tell us a little bit about what that is, where it came from, and why you think it's so important.
Yeah, so, you know, like I said, I've been doing kids gardening coming up to 10 years now, and one of the things that I've always heard is we need to get gardening to schools, we need to get young people gardening and learning where food comes from, how to care for wildlife, all of that sort of thing. And there's many things out there, as we know. The archers have got their school gardening thing going on. There's other things as well. But what I found was these campaigns. I went on a school tour, probably the biggest school tour that I've done in my career, and we got 10,000 children gardening in 1 week, and it was for a brand, and it was amazing, mainly for them, also for my ego. I can't tell you how big my head was afterwards. I felt like Bono on the back of a pickup truck throwing seeds out at children, and it was an amazing week of like getting children excited about gardening. We went to these schools, and yeah, it was amazing. One of the things that I realised, though, was that I'd actually become part of the problem with school gardening, because I was rocking up at these schools and I was throwing these seeds out, and we're getting the kids planting up, and then I was leaving after an hour, and then that was leaving the teachers with just like pots of soil, which I didn't really know what to do with, and also no action plan afterwards to progress that gardening story. And it was halfway through the tour that I realised that actually we need to do more for schools and for teachers as well. So obviously we then had COVID, so that was quite handy. We had a bit more time I mean, not handy, it was pretty bad, weren't it? But gave me time to really think about what we have now, which is called the School Garden Success Plan. And so what we do is we provide each class with a raised bed. So they have a veggie pod, which all of the products that we give to schools I've tested over the years. Like, as a influencer, which I hate that word, influencer, you're given a lot of stuff to test out, and some things are amazing and some things just don't quite work. And what I realized was throughout my time of being an influencer, that I was testing these products for this big thing, this School Garden Success Plan. So, for instance, the veggie pod is absolutely perfect for those long holidays. People always like, how am I going to garden with the school, and we've got a 6-week holiday where we can't do anything? And that pod obviously looks after your plants because it holds onto the water, so it means that the garden doesn't have to be watered so much. And also, because we give the class a pod each, it means it's more manageable. I went to a school the other week and they showed me the area that they had to grow, and there were massive allotments for each class. There were such big beds, and it's just too much for a teacher to look after. So we give them the raised bed, we give them the compost. We talk about peat-free compost, which we all know is a really important subject to teach children about. If we're going to get rid of peat in our compost, then we need to teach children at a younger age the reasons for that. We give them all the seeds, the tools as well, like proper tools, Stephen. You know, not like the plastic play ones. We're doing proper gardening at school, so we're proper tools. And then on top of that, so we give them all the products, but then on top of that, we give them 3 lessons a month. So manageable, nice and easy, 3 lessons for the class to do. And then, you know, all that is amazing. But the biggest thing, as I said, during that school tour is what I realised was the teachers got no help. There was no support for that. So we give the teachers a support line. So basically, if on a Monday they're doing a gardening task with their class and they're not quite sure on a subject, which happens, we don't expect teachers to know everything about gardening. They can call one of us and one of my team, and basically we'll give them the answer. We'll tell them, right, this is what you need to do. So they can go in on the Tuesday and say, right, class, this is what we've got to do. This is how we're going to make it work. That is the biggest thing for me. All the other stuff is amazing, and the plan is obviously gives a bit of focus to everything, but the teacher support is what is really needed in that that classroom.
Brilliant. And so how do you think each of these lessons benefits the pupils and the schools? What are we aiming to do with them? What do the lessons achieve, do you think?
Yeah, so obviously the biggest thing for each lesson is like we go through grow your own and we go through wildlife, and we make it work. So from the start of January, you're learning about the soil, you're making pots, you're creating bits to get ready for the sowing. You sow the seeds. Coming through the rest of the year, you're harvesting. Then you're looking after the wildlife, and we go all the way through to January, all the way through to December. So gardening's not just a thing that happens. I was on a podcast the other day. I was chatting to a teacher a head teacher that's trying to get his school gardening, and he said that the main time that anyone's teachers are thinking about is just between March and then the start of May, and that's sort of the time where we want to show children, and I think it's important for everyone to know that gardening's not just for that time of year. Like, we need to do it throughout the whole year. Even for me, like I'm a parent. I've got my little girl. She's come up to 7 now, and I see it like every year around this time we get a little pot sent home of soil. And Olive, bless her, she come back. It was a few weeks ago with a pot of soil, and I was like, "What is it? What we growing here?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know." And I was like, "Oh, well, like, it'd be good to know." And it turns out it was a runner bean, right? But but that never goes back into school. That's never talked about again, and I think that's a real shame. And that's what we do with the school success plan. There's so much involved in it to bring families in on it as well. So that is the biggest disconnect for me as well. As much as we don't support teachers, we also don't let parents know that the kids are doing gardening. We don't tell them about it. So with the school garden success plan, we get, for instance, all of the class grows tomatoes and peppers, and then only the best of go into the pod for the class. The rest all go back home, which means that not only are we growing in school and we're seeing that progress of the tomatoes growing, we've also got tomatoes and peppers growing at home, which will hopefully get families growing as well, because we're of a generation that we love gardening, right, Stephen? We love getting out there and getting our hands amongst the soil. But I can guarantee that probably one of my 10 friends, and I've only got 10 friends, but they're good friends. One of my 10 friends will garden with their child. The rest are not really interested in it. One's just getting artificial grass, and that's a whole nother story. We don't want to talk about it today. But yeah, so it's really important to bring families in on it as well, and then bring it all together. But yeah, the whole plan and these lessons are made to be easy, and so that teachers don't get overwhelmed with stuff. I think that's the biggest thing. You don't want a plan that is just like, here's everything that you got to do in the entire gardening world.
And that's what I think is so exciting about the project, is that it works on so many different levels. You've got the pupils engaging with gardening and all the skills that are connected with that. You've got the teachers having a better understanding with it to be able to kind of bring it on each year. It's not just a one-hit wonder, is it? I know you designed it very much to be a continual process that they can cycle through year after year after year. And you hit a really important point there, is that we're involving the parents and the families, from that point of view. So it's got a wide-reaching audience, which was one of the reasons we were very excited to get involved with you. And why Go Landscape is supporting this, I guess, is to say, and to talk to people to help and support this project as well, is that we have got a skills shortage in the industry. Not only are we battling an awareness of the industry and the career opportunities that are available, we've also got so many companies out there that are just struggling to recruit people, and I think that's an exciting thing in a lot of ways, to say, look, if you were to join this industry, you're guaranteed a job, and it's an exciting job in terms of it makes a difference to the environment. So all those things and those skills that those young children there are picking up and cycling through, and what they're growing and how things grow and how they look after them, where food and everything, all of those come from. They're all, forgive the pun, sowing the seeds, aren't they, for skills that people can take into the future. Every child, we're not saying that every child in that class that's going through that program will come into the industry, but I guarantee, and what we're hoping, I'm sure Lee, you'll agree, is that they will take that interest with them. So even if they don't, I'm not going to do a career in it, we've still got the opportunity of taking those skills to do things in their own gardens, and teaching future generations. We're looking at that need to reconnect with the natural world, and this is a great opportunity and a great way of doing that. So what we're looking at is obviously, and I'm going to get Lee to expand on this, but we want employers to help us with this. There is an opportunity here to do this on a national scale, isn't there? That's the vision, that's the big picture we'd love to see happening, but it needs the help and support of companies. So there's an opportunity for you guys as employers with your companies, and you may have children, grandchildren at local primary schools that you could support. So Lee, how can companies get involved in this? What can they do? What are you asking them to help with?
Yeah, can I just quickly add on to what you were just saying before I answer that question as well? Is that when I created this school garden success plan, I'm not 1,000,000,000% sure, and you might be able to cover this, Stephen, is how we started talking. But my vision with the school garden success plan was very like one direction: get kids gardening and make it easy for teachers. And then when we started speaking, I got so excited because there's so much more that we can do with this plan, like you say, to help the industry. And I think that's so important. And like you said, when I was at school, like gardening was not even, like horticulture was not even a thing that was mentioned to me as a future career, and that's in secondary school. So I think if we're talking about it in primary school and we're getting kids excited about it and knowing what a future job can be, my daughter at the moment, currently she wants to be a hairdresser. I mean, I don't know where that comes from. The other week she was going to be a policewoman, but these kids are not talking about our industry as a future thing at the moment. And kids play at the moment, and that's what they're talking about. I want to be a fireman, I want to be a policeman, and all them sort of things. But why are they not talking about being a landscaper? And that's why it gets me really excited that we're working together to try and get that in their vocabulary, even just talking about it. That's really exciting. So yeah, what was your question?
That's all right. I know, very passionate, and we got sidetracked slightly there, but that's not a problem. Yeah. So actually, before I ask that question, there's one thing I haven't outlined, is actually what careers information is in there. So we work with Lee to create a series of ways of getting the conversation going, I think, is what we want to do, is so that we can talk about what all the different roles are. And we've covered probably, I don't know, is it 12, 15 roles, something like that in our industry. that we can get the teachers engaging and thinking about how they can talk about those interests and link them with careers in the industry. You know, so that's built into the teaching package as well, is what I should have said a little bit earlier, but before we got sidetracked. But yeah, Lee, so tell us a little bit about how companies can get involved and support this.
Yeah, so I think it's really important. One of the things that I love about this is that as a company with employees, you can support one of your employees' schools. So each package, so each school plan, which is for each class basically. So each class will get a plan, and they're £499 each, and that is a one-off cost. So the school will never have to do a subscription. They never have to pay any more. They'll basically get all of the equipment in one go, supported by you as a company. And the reason we do that is because I don't want to keep having to try and like get money from schools, because it's not fair on the school. I want to try and make something that is easy for the schools to use and not have to keep thinking about it. So like, as in part of the plan, we teach the class how to save seeds so they don't have to buy more seeds. So we teach them how to make their own compost so they don't have to buy more compost. But as a company or as a brand, the idea is that you will support one of your employees or one of your local schools, and either get a whole school, one would be amazing obviously, or a class to get them started on their gardening journey. Because you know, it's we want to get over to 30,000 schools, primary schools in the UK, over the next few years, which is a lot of schools. And I think as an industry, we need to like try and push that out and make that happen. And you know, working with Go Landscape is perfect, because it's doing a lot for the industry to put in children's heads what they can do as a future career. So yeah, that's what we were asking, that you lovely people could support a class to get gardening and support teachers in that adventure.
Superb, thank you, Lee. So where do we signpost them to? How do you kind of do that? So there's a couple of places that they can go. They can go to your website, can't they, Lee? So if you want to give us your website and the link there.
Yeah, so for this, there's a special website, skinnyjeangardener.co.uk/go success. So skinnyjeangardener.co.uk go success.
Brilliant. And we've also got a link through to it on the Go Landscape website. So on the Go Landscape website, we've got a new primary school section, and it's got its own section there that you can take that takes you directly through to Lee's website as well. So that's where you can begin to sign up and sponsor one or more schools. That would be the exciting opportunity. And I guess if there are any questions that you've got, or there's something, or concerns, or even ideas, you know, we're happy to receive anything like that, feedback through to us. Are you happy for them to contact you, Lee, or would you rather they came through to me and I'll pass them on to you? It's entirely up to you.
You can be my PA if you want, but I'm very happy to answer any questions through. Like, you know, we're still very in the early stages of this, and I want to emphasize that this is not something that is here today, gone tomorrow. Like, I'm very much, I tell you, for one, by the way, tell me if I'm just babbling on, Stephen, but there was your chance. This is gone now. I'm going to babble. One of the things that I've been, like I said, I've been doing this thing for quite a while now, and I love doing the children's garden stuff, and I love. I think you might have seen me in my gold sparkly jacket doing kids shows, and I love it. Like, it's so much fun. But in 2020, I think we all had to have a little think about what we were doing with our lives and what we wanted to change. And for me, it was, what is my legacy from doing this gardening thing all about? Like, what do I really want my legacy to be when I look back over my career? And it was to support schools and really bring something to the table that is going to make a big difference. So it's not a campaign that's going to be here and then in 2 years' time you're not going to hear of it. We've got we're literally leveling up every single year about what we're doing. We're going to be holding conferences for free for teachers so they can come along and share ideas and bring them together. We're going to continue with our teacher support, grow the team for that as well. So in 10 years time, we literally have every single class in the UK running this through. So from the time they start in reception all the way through to the time they leave primary school in year 6, they're going to have gone through that process of learning how to crow and go into secondary school, which is obviously most importantly for this, knowing that after secondary school, they could go into an industry that is absolutely, as we all know and are lucky enough to know, is absolutely incredible.
Fantastic. And yeah, reiterate that this is an ongoing process. It's not a one-hit wonder. You know, we're looking to build and support Lee in adding materials continually to it. So we're working on some videos and things that we're hopefully going to be able to include and things. So exciting things. And this is only the starting point. So we would love to get you on board. We'd love to get you involved. If there's anything that's holding you back, get in touch, and we will talk it through with you and see if we can find a way of making it work. Because the more people that are involved in this, the more schools that we can get into, the more we're going to erase not just the gardening skills that are coming, but also the opportunities for careers as well. So exciting times. Brilliantly, I really appreciate you joining me today. It's been a great half hour. Hopefully we've sold the message, so we'll look forward to, fingers crossed, seeing a few more schools getting involved in the Go School Success project. So thank you very much, Lee. Appreciate it.
Thanks, mate.